Hey, here we go, battlerap.com. It's the end of 2015. We're here with Organik in his own car.
Yep. What up?
So, first of all, we're going to catch so much flack from Queen's Flips driving around in cars with Battle Rapper segments. So, first of all, we acknowledge that. We're in a car because it's cold outside and warm in here. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm alright, man. You?
Good. So, let's talk about 2015. Let's talk about King of the Dot. Overall thoughts on the year?
I thought it was a good year. I thought we started off strong with Blackout. I think probably our strongest year to date as far as events, everything. We had a couple really solid back to basics cards, the Massacre card, World on 5, Blackout. Everything was really a success. I think Ground Zero took leaps and bounds this year as well, from holding a successful Grand Prix to just kind of taking a step forward, getting a couple of videos to go viral, like Ellipsis and Isaac Knox. And you know what I mean? Just kind of really taking the direction forward that we need to do. Ending the year off with the Prove Yourself tournament to give the young guns a shot and everything like that, and that's pretty much it, man. I thought it was a real solid year for us.
Absolutely, and it's funny to hear you just blow through all that, because it's you put on. Let's break it down a little bit with Blackout 5 started the year with that.
6 we did first, right?
Oh right, yeah.
So we did Battle of the Base 6, which was Fab and ours and all that, and then there's a lot of good battles in that. A lot of Zay and Nitty was a really fucking solid battle in that card and everything like that.
Bendersaurus, the makeup battle the next day was nice. Speaking of that event, first of all, Grizzle is Ice and Caustic, yeah. Nestle and Swave Seva. So Grizzle, has he ever popped up on the radar again? He kind of disappeared after the issues with that event.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, he's done. Okay, so you start with that. That was also the first live pay-per-view that King of the Dot did, if I'm not mistaken.
We had done live pay-per-views in the past. We started out doing live pay-per-views, Blackout too, but I mean, it always really depended on the internet you can get at the club and everything like that to kind of do what we need to do, and so we make it happen where we can. But yeah, we had that. Then we went on to Blackout, which was the big 2-day mystery event that we did with Drake. And that was really successful. I think even that press conference was more successful than most battle rap events this year were. You know what I mean? There's more people at that press conference last year for Blackout than there were at most battle rap events.
Right, and tons of media, tons of Toronto media. Drake was there, and yeah, there was just there was a huge amount of excitement. I thought that whole weekend, especially in Toronto, and I was calling it at the end of the event, was that the best event of all time? You had a huge venue, you had a huge star power behind it, lots of media, lots of great battles. I think the only thing that would kind of prevent it from happening was just if you'd had another 1,000 people there for it. There was kind of the snowstorm caused issues.
That's the issue with Toronto. You know what I mean? When you're in Canada, especially Blackout, it's in the middle of February, end of January always, and that's kind of in the snow belt that we always get hit with, The fuck are chances of that? Last year we didn't get fucking snow until the morning of Blackout, you know what I mean? And then it's shit because it blocks people. A lot of King of the Dot's core fan base and shit like that is people from outside, a lot of Toronto, you know the way it is, the greater Toronto area and everywhere, it really expands out. Toronto's just the core city, but a lot of people come from North Bay, Lindsay, Niagara Falls, St. Catharines, the Londons, to Peterboroughs, the Pickerings, to, you know what I mean, Perry Sounds. People come from all over, and when you have weather like that, I mean,
and New York too,
exactly.
Come over, yeah.
It makes it impossible, We actually kind of got screwed with weather at Flatline as well that year, right? And that's why people like Uno Lavos weren't able to make it up the Battle Roan, and we had to do the last minute shifting and all that stuff and get the DNA battle happening. But I mean, yeah, I think the attendance was probably the only thing that really hurt Blackout. But I mean, in the long run, I don't think it really hurt it at all, because I mean, we all see what happens when too many people get in a room for a rap battle. Right. You know what I mean? You get battles that don't have any replay value because people say 2 lines and then the crowd reacts for 2 minutes. And to sit on your computer and watch that is the most fucking aggravating thing in the world. I don't want to do that shit, The whole concept of Blackout was kind of bringing it back to the original basics we had when, this battle rap movement really started taking off, bringing back 24/7s, Bishop Brigante, Irons. That event was, who do we bring back? Dumbfounded. We brought back a lot of people and just kind of tried to keep it to the basics, you know what I mean? With a lot of the big name battles, everyone wants to see long rounds and shit, but they don't understand that's kind of what's killing a lot of these big name battles from having classics, because we're like kind of forcing material out of them rather than let them do their natural thing and have to cut material
2 minutes of greatness and then 2 minutes of filler. Yeah.
and that's it. So for Blackout, we kept the rounds a little bit shorter than normal, and I think it turned out good. Conceited and Dumbfounded's already, you know what I mean, about to be one of the most viewed battles ever, and it's only been out for 7 months. It's already got 3,800,000 views.
Is that after Diz and Cannabis?
No, it's
after
actually,
Diz and DNA?
No, it's ahead of that, man. The only thing ahead of it right now.
Korean Effects.
Korean Effects versus Caleb Simmons, man. Yeah.
That'll be a good monkey to like get off your back, that your number one video isn't actually a rap battle.
Yeah, I mean, but that's, that was the goal with beatboxing. Before Beatbox Canada, that was kind of like what we had. We knew beatboxing's a universal language. You can speak any language in the world and understand beatboxing. Yep. You know what I mean? So to get these beatboxers out there and to the world, for them to see, like, a lot of those views on that video are from Korea and getting posted in Korean websites and Korean TV shows because of Korean Effects, right? So, I mean, it was just that, but it was meant to do that. It was meant for, to kind of get viral ability and viral traction on the channel and everything, and it did its job. And it helped Korean Effects massively as well, right?
Let's talk about so there was World Domination as well in Toronto. Another big, 4-day event, press conference, 2 days of full battles, and then the day 3, party Ground Zero event on the end. Highlights from that.
World Domination the whole weekend was crazy. That was one of the funnest just vibes at an event in a long time. In and out from the hotels and everything. It was just good times. Everybody was in a good mood. Obviously, Disaster, I think, was the highlight of that weekend. Just, having him back in Toronto after his long suspension, and just the energy he brought wasn't what he had brought to the Chilla Jones battle, where he seemed aggravated and frustrated, and it was like, the Diz that people don't want to be around. He was the Disaster that people really like, and that aura was good. Iron Solomon coming back, that was, a really big thing for battle rap. Daylight killed it. Everyone did really good that weekend. It was just seeing Psychosis come over here and perform well was like seeing the new talent come out of the West Coast and come over here in Toronto and take on a battler from South Africa. Like, it's awesome to see that shit in World Dom, right?
That's one of my favorite moments of that, was in that of that weekend, was in that battle where Psychosis makes a Get Him a Soda reference. I think it's Psychosis. One of them makes a Get Him a Soda reference, and like E. Farrell, that's his slogan, is in the building, and it's like a Cali guy referencing a Connecticut guy's slogan to a South African guy in Toronto. Like, that is World Domination spirit in one 5 words or whatever. Get him soda, 4 words. Let's talk about some of that new talent. Who do you see as being the next wave of names in King of the Dot?
There's a lot coming up right now. It's hard to say. There's, you know what I mean? You have people like Shoddy P who are doing really good. You have people like Ellipsis, who's killing it. You got people like Aftershock, who seems to be like more on point than ever. Realistic's doing really good. You got Jonai's, you got Psychosis, Mad Flex. You got, there's a lot of really good people coming up, and there's it's good to see people like Reverse Live and Only One, and those people having like really good debatable back and forth battles and stuff. And a lot of the older names are kind of coming back and getting more competitive in it and shit like that. We've seen kind of everyone take this leap of absence and everything, and I feel like a lot of the cats that were around when this shit was really jumping off are coming back and, getting the groove on again and everything. So I don't know, the future's looking good, man. And that's why we're here tonight. Find more.
Right, agreed. For the 16-man Prove Yourself tournament, what would you say is the top King of the Dot battle from 2015?
I mean, I guess I'd have to say Dumbfounded and Conceited, but runner-up would probably go to Iron Solomon and Daylight.
Why Conceited and Dumbfounded?
I mean, numbers will speak for itself there. The video got a lot of views because it's rewatchable. It has replay value. It's not so long that it makes you ruin your day to watch it. It's just one of those battles. It's easy to watch. It's fun to watch. You can show it to basically just about anybody, whether they're a battle rap fanatic or not, and they can find a way to enjoy it. I think a battle like Daylight and Iron Solomon is really good, but it's for the core battle rap fan base. It's not just for everybody. Yeah.
Agreed. And also the fact that Conceited and Dumbfounded have become pretty huge stars in their own right in the last year. And I feel like I've been thinking a lot about kind of end of year stuff, and that's a battle that I feel like has done so much for the culture, just in like probably bringing new people in and being like, oh, okay, I get it. It's like everything went right with it. It wasn't like somebody did something crazy, some crazy antic or a fight or whatever that we usually see. The virality of battle rap in the mainstream is usually because of a negative thing. So to see that gets so much shine for being so good is a really like positive step, I thought. And you mentioned Daylight Solomon, a few other battles that everyone's been talking about. Big K versus Ill Will.
That was a really good one too. Big K and Ill Will was really, really good. That was one of my favorites as well. There's a lot of good battles this year. Even looking back at Blackout, there's some really good ones. Ronan Big T, Head Ice, and Sirius Jones. A lot of real good back and forth battles happened. 24/7 and a lot of really good battles, man.
Yeah.
Solid performances this year.
Performance of the year.
It's tough to say, man. You'd have to.
Right, we'll just list everything, and then you can just, That's what I've been doing, is like just looking at every battle that came out this year.
I'm not too sure, man. I think Disaster vs. Dumbfounded may be one of them. Diz really came good at that event. I thought Psychosis did really good at World Domination too. I thought he had a really polished. He adapted to the atmosphere so well as far as like getting the crowd involved and making it like an actual performance. You know what I mean? Which is so rare to see people do when they go to a new city for the first time. They seem so timid and everything, and he like acted like he'd been there a million times. So I always credit people for that, because it's a big mental part of battling that people don't really understand, and like making yourself seem, you know what I mean, like that on camera and everything. It's a tough thing to do. Yeah, I don't know, man.
What one of my personal favorites is Daylight against Madchild.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like I'm blanking out now, and then the second this interview's over, I'm gonna be like, fuck, why didn't I say this? Why didn't I say this? But that's the way it goes. So many.
Fresco versus Thesaurus, obviously that was a $1,000 win.
A lot of good back to basics battles happened. Carter Deems versus Immaculate was another one that was really good. I fucking was about to faint in the middle of that battle, man. That room was so hot. And we kept opening the bay door, and the fucking venue kept shutting it down. We'll never go back there again, but, that was horrible.
I remember seeing comments where it's like, oh, Organik looks so angry. And because it was also during that battle that Disaster slam Billy Boondocks. So
upstairs, but to be honest with you, man, it was just so hot in there, and I just felt like I was gonna faint, and it didn't matter how much fucking water I drank. It was just like one of those feelings where it was just like lightheaded in a sense, and like I remember I had like mapped out my exit plan to where if I started when that battle was happening, I was looking like, okay, the gate's 2 steps and I can grab the gate with my left hand, and then the stage is right there and you can sit down. Like it was to that point, and that never happened to me, man, and it was just
Is it that Cali Bud that does it?
No, I don't smoke weed at events.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I really don't. Some events, you know what I mean? But like for the most part, if I'm hosting and stuff, I won't smoke or anything because, Right. But I think it was just dehydration and the fact that it was so fucking hot and unexpected in there. There's nothing you could do to beat that. It was just so hot.
Body bag of the year.
Oh man, that's tough to say. Whose feelings am I hurting right now, man? I don't know. Reference some. What are
the ones that when I was looking through the list today,
did T-Rex and Charlie Clips happen in 2015?
That was last year.
Okay.
And that won Body Bag of the Year for our 2014 awards.
Yeah,
okay. On the King of the Dot stage, I thought Psychosis started with a body bag against Impose, who was just off his game totally. Well, Psychosis was totally on his game. Yeah. That was day one of that, of the back to the
I like Impose
basics.
Too much to say that.
He knows that. I've talked to him about it. I thought that at Blackout, the standout one-sided battle was Immaculate versus DNA.
I'll agree with that. And DNA actually really fucking made up for it against Dirtbag Dando, and he had a really fucking huge comeback performance there.
His whole DNA is low-key one of the top 5 battlers of the year, in my opinion.
I feel like DNA is almost every year. He's one of those people that kind of stays relevant battling so often, which is so hard to do. And as much as people want to give him slack, man, when the kid wants to show up, the kid shows up. and that's something that people can't take away from him. You just kind of gotta get that out of him, and I think Dirtbag Dan did. Dirtbag Dan pretty much got DNA to the point where it's like, no, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy to make a point, you know. But Dirtbag Dan also had one of his best performances ever, and it ended up just being a really, really good fucking battle. Yep. So,
yeah, great back and forth.
Body bag of the year.
People are talking about Laudazé versus Danger Zone. Danger Zone bodying Laudazé on black ice. That's one that has come up a lot in my conversation.
That, man, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see that one.
Prep, Chilla Jones bodying Prep was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever, those are. We'll figure out that list eventually.
The ones on King of the Dot.
Yeah.
Big T and Rowe.
I thought that was too good of a battle. I don't think Big T's ever really been shit on King of the Dot. Big T's always been really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could argue, like a lot of people would argue that T got that battle 2-1. It just happened that Roan's third went viral and kind of no one saw the rest of it. Not no one, but you know, the 2 million people that saw Roan's third didn't see the rest of the battle.
There was this is gonna feel bad saying. There's one. I'm thinking of back to basics. I know someone got. Oh, Cadillac Ron versus Sakari. That's body bag of the year, and that sucks, man. Because Sakari's he's a cool kid, you know.
He was also like his health was off. He almost was like he was in the hospital a week later.
We'll give him a handicap, right?
Or maybe the body bag was that bad that Cadillac Ron almost killed him.
Can be. I think that would actually probably be it this year. You know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Only one in Joe Cutter, I felt kind of too.
Yeah, agreed. And then a final question: battle rapper of the year.
Roan, Big K, Danny Myers, Danger Zone, DNA. And I mean, it's tough not to say. Disaster. I mean, from the I don't think he really battled enough as much as the others to be in contention. But for what he did, he put on pretty solid performances every time. I felt, you know, I don't know. I haven't seen the Eminem battle he did or whatever the fuck that was, but. Yeah. You know, the Marv 1 shit was good. The,
Right. Jonai.
Yeah, Jonai. Even Caustics had a really good year, too, man. Mm-hmm. Caustics had a really good year as well.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think it's very tough. Yeah,
really is,
but
this was a really fucking good year for battle rap. I thought it was a really good year for people not choking. I thought, you know, because, I don't know, man. I just felt like 2015 had that energy. It was good. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that King of the Dot had a great year.
Everyone had a great year.
URL, Don't Flop.
URL, Don't Flop.
And everyone did a great job because it felt like 2014 was the year of the Total Slaughters, of the Ethers, of these major corporate entities coming in and kind of like sucking a lot of the energy out of it.
Versus Bonkers for fucking body bag of the year, man. Like, fuck.
Yeah. So, yeah, the 2014 was kind of like everyone had to sit and watch what was going to happen, you know, with these bigger companies that were bringing it to a bigger audience, and most of them did poorly. And then 2015, those were out of the way, so all the leagues were able to do their own thing, and it felt like all of the major leagues did very separate things from each other. So it was able, like, you were able to grow your own fan base, you were able to find your own lane, and that's really nice because it creates a lot of diversity in battle rap, which is, you know, what I think a lot of people were complaining was lacking before. One last question, you brought it up. Battle of the Brave, Pat Stay versus Hall of the Dawn. Did you see it?